and gentlemen, welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monkey, and yeah, we're going real early tonight. For those of you who know the lore of this show, it started because there was a night on Lords of the Night where one of the stories we just did not have enough time for all of us to say what we wanted to say, especially me. I can't speak for all of the guys. So it's like, you know what? I'm going to stream and I'm going to talk about what I wanted to talk about. And so I did. And Monkey in the Morning was born, and it's moved around and become a little more laid back than that first very, very ranty stream. But we're going back to our roots tonight, guys. I missed most of today. And what I mean by that is I spent the day in bed. I was in a lot of pain. It was just a bad day. So I didn't see Twitter. I didn't see the news. Excuse me. So I'm so sorry. Most of what I know, I got on the show tonight, and there was a story that the guys talked about a tweet out there where a guy said Trump supporters needed eradicated, and I didn't know anything about the story, so I kept my mouth shut. I was just listening. But after the show, I went and looked it up, and I also looked up the Joaquin Castro tweet. And man, between the two of those, I'm not a happy monkey. I'm trying not to just yell fuck over and over again, because are you fucking kidding me? Are you absolutely fucking kidding me? Let's start with the tweet about whether or not Mr. What was his name? Reza Hassan Asian is actually how it's spelled. Reza Asian. That's what I'm calling him. This was the tweet that did it. After today, there's no longer any room for nuance. The president is a white nationalist terror leader. His supporters, all of them, it's all in caps, you guys, are by definition white nationalist terrorist supporters. The MAGA hat is a KKK hood, and this evil racist scourge must be eradicated from society. Now, I want to give Mr. Reza Asian here the benefit of the doubt and say, he's being hyperbolic and he's just running his mouth. But I'm not sure I can do that, because I've read the rest of the thread that led to this, the absolute insanity that led him to this tweet, you guys. So let's follow the story. The original tweet was from Kellyanne Conway. She had tweeted out, "We need to come together, America. Finger pointing, name calling, and screaming with your keyboard is easy, yet it solves not a single problem, saves not a single life. Working as one to understand depraved evil and to eradicate hate is everyone's duty. Unity, let's do this." She wants to eradicate hate. That cunt. What a bitch, right? How dare that bitch want to get rid of hate in our society? You dirty, evil twat. And Mr. Reza Asian there came back with, "You are the, quote, depraved evil we need to eradicate. You are the depraved evil we need to eradicate." All right, he's being a little hyperbolic there. He's being a fucknut. But then John Cardillo, I don't know who he is, it pipes in. He says, "There's really no other way to interpret eradicate other than Mr. Asian." Oh, that's Aslan. That's not an I. Ha! Okay, I keep calling him Asian. It's Aslan. My bad. Anyway, other than him threatening the life of Kellyanne Conway. And that's where Mr. Aslan, why does that look like Asian on this? I don't know. Anyway. Says, so when Kellyanne Conway says we need to eradicate this evil, she meant shoot it in the face. She was threatening the El Paso shooter. We are all so fucking fed up with you racist GOPers and the bad faith bullshit. She said eradicate hate, You fuck nut. You absolute fucking asshole. And that's where he follows up with, after today, there's no longer room for nuance. We need to eradicate Trump supporters. Jesus Christ. That's where we are, man. That's where we fucking are. Here's the problem. Even if he's just being hyperbolic, right? Even if he's just being hyperbolic. Can you imagine if somebody said this, if a Republican said this about any group that we needed to eradicate, even jokingly, we need to eradicate this group. We need to eradicate Democrats. What would that be? Oh, they only said that because they're racist. So I see this, and that is a hate-filled bunch of bullshit is what that is. That is a hate. If you support Trump at all, man, you are a terror supporter. You are a white supremacist terror supporter. Because Reza Aslan said so. And he's tired of your GOP bullshit. If you want to eradicate hate, he is tired of your GOP bullshit. Can you believe that? He's all right. So we have that. And then I saw the Joaquin Castro thing. For those of you who don't know, Joaquin Castro, brother to Julian Castro, who's running for president, and is in is he in just the state Congress, or is he in the United States Congress? I'm not sure. He is, or is he just? Isn't he? He's an elected official somehow. I don't know. I don't know this man very well. I know he's a Democrat shill who's trying to get his brother elected to the presidency. Not going to happen. Joaquin Phoenix has a better chance of getting his brother elected. That's probably not a nice joke. But Mr. Joaquin Castro here put out a list. It says, who's funding Trump? In 2019, these 44 San Antonio donors contributed the most allowable by federal law. And he did this in a post that says, sad to see so many San Antonians as 2019 maximum donors to Donald Trump, the owner of Bill Miller Barbecue, owner of Historic Pearl, realtor Phyllis Browning, etc. Their contributions are fueling a campaign of hate that labels Hispanic immigrants as invaders. We'll get to that in just a second. Oh, God. Sorry, guys. I'm not paying attention to chat just yet. I need to get this out. Evolved Potato, thank you so much. Who says, Reza Aslan, the same soy boy who said he didn't need to argue with people because anyone who disagrees with him is a bigot. I can see that asshole saying that because he's a douchebag. But I see this fucking tweet from Joaquin. And look, we've just had this other guy talking about how we need to eradicate Trump supporters. And this asshole's putting out a list of them. And then you have people like Joe Scarborough, host of the morning show over there on MSNBC, who's defending putting out this list. He's, and this is only one of his many tweets on this. Any business that donates to Trump is complicit and endorses the white supremacy he espouses in Charlottesville with his send her back chant and by laughing at shouts that Hispanic immigrants should be shot. Donors' names are on FEC reports. They are newsworthy. Really? How often do you actually report on donor names? Joe? The donor names are out there for everybody, public, like that. Would you post Nancy Pelosi's? I bet you wouldn't. Would you post Joaquin Castro's? Joaquin ain't even going to post his top donors' names. You think he's going to post his brother's top donors' names? Yeah. But we're supposed to pretend this isn't a hit list. Which is what really set me off, because I read this fucking stupid shit. Joe Scarborough had also tweeted out this: if your business funds Trump's campaign, then you're supporting white supremacy. Full stop. Look at his rallies. Listen to the chants of send it back. Hear the calls of shoot him. Your money funds that. Your business supports that. You are complicit. And this asshole writes, exactly. But Joaquin Castro is getting crap for naming donors whose donations are publicly available online. These Trumpian snowflakes want to fund their hero in private, but not public. Is that correct? Look here, you little shit. What you are doing, what you are supporting right now is a fucking hit list. That's what it is. You were out there saying these people need to go. These are the bad people. These people right there. Go get them. Now, Joaquin tries to say, in one of Joaquin's tweets, he says, Donald Trump targets millions of people. Donald Trump is sending the fucking immigration authorities after people who are breaking the fucking law. He's not out there going, well, go get these private people, which is what you're doing. And you're putting them in danger because you don't like their fucking politics and trying to pretend that it's about racism, you lying, disingenuous cunt. I am so tired of this, and we're not going to play any fucking whataboutism on this. Democrats are dirty as shit, and they need to be stopped. They need to be called out with this bullshit every time they do it. I don't want to hear, well, conservatives do. Fuck you. Show me when conservatives have pulled out a fucking campaign list and went, go get them, guys. They're horrible people. They're racist terrorist supporters. You're actually calling them fucking criminals and saying, go get them because of who they donated to. You fuck. Oh. Democrats are dirty as fuck. They don't care. They're not. There's no argument. You'll notice there's no argument here. There's no intelligent argument here. There's no policy argument here. All it is, oh, they're racist. Well, how are they racist? They want to get brown people out. Well, there's a lot of brown people that they like and are in the country. No, but they want to get the other brown people out. That shows that they're racist. They don't care about the brown people, you stupid fuck. They care about the laws of the United States and immigration policy, you dumb fuck. You fucking degenerates are out there trying to cause people to get harmed. And don't pretend you're not. Don't pretend that you're like, oh, we put out these 49 names and the city where they live, hoping that maybe they'll have a change of heart. You're hoping people go get them. They're a fucking lynch mob because you guys, you are the party of the KKK. You are. And you guys know what you do when you target somebody, don't you? When you put their name out there and put them in danger and that mob comes in the middle of the night. You know what you fuckers do with your actual white hoods. We're not talking red hats here. We're talking your actual white hoods, you dirty fucks. You racist pieces of shit. That's you guys. And that's how you've always fucking been. But no, we have to pretend. Nah, we got to pretend. Because Trump said something. We know what Trump meant. Well, what did Trump say? You guys knew what he meant when he said infestation. Remember that? Oh, we know what he meant. Yeah, he meant infestation of rats because the fucking city of Baltimore's overrun with them. What word would you prefer to be used there? But no, we know what he meant. We know what he meant. He meant infested with those brown people, right? You know why they always hear the dog whistle on the left? Because they're the dogs. That's who hears the dog whistle. The dogs. They know all of these racist things. Why do you think that is? Why do you think they're able to hone in on that? When the rest of us are sitting around going, what the fuck are you talking about? The fuck are you talking about? Oh, but they hear it all. Oh, they hear it all. Because they're a bunch of fucking racists who are pretending that the other side is. I am so tired of this shit, guys. I did not go on Twitter very much yesterday because of this kind of stupid shit, although there was more of the gun control debate there. Oh, don't get me started on that shit. But then today, I wasn't even on there. I was going to go play video games after the show. But my dumb ass went and checked. It's my fault. I shouldn't have went and checked. I should have known better. Dogs are over there barking their asses off. They're over there hoping nobody pays attention to their actual racism. No. Don't pay attention to their actual racism because that whoo, that might cause you to think twice about their bullshit narrative that they're selling you about Trump being racist. Let's take a trip back in history, shall we? Let's go back to how Donald Trump became the most evil racist man in the world. Do you know how it started? There's a lot of people who have their opinion on what happened there. A lot of people think that the press doesn't like Trump because he beat Hillary, and that's part of it, but that's not what it is. That's not what it is. We had heard rumors that Trump was going to run for president, and it was starting to become big news. And then Trump comes out and announces his candidacy. And in that speech, he said the line about rapists and murderers. And the press had their story, man. They had their story. He's a racist. Because apparently when you get a degree in journalism, you don't understand race versus ethnicity or country of origin. Journalists think every country is its own race. Because, Mexican is a race in their world. And they wrote things like, doesn't Donald Trump know that people come from other places besides Mexico? Well, you'd know he did if you actually listen to the very next fucking paragraph, you parasites. But they beat him down, man, and it was immediate. Donald Trump is over. So we heard Donald Trump is over. He did it. He said racist shit, and that was it. And he disappeared for a while. He really did. We didn't hear about Trump for a couple of days, a couple of weeks, actually, until Kate Steinle got killed. Kate Steinle got killed by an illegal who had been deported, was it 5 times? Already been deported 5 times? And was living safely in San Francisco, which was a fucking sanctuary city. Do you think that the Steinle family feels like that San Francisco is a sanctuary? Their daughter having been shot in the back randomly by some shit ass illegal who shouldn't have been in the country. They think of it as a sanctuary? But that brought Trump back into the news. Trump came back into the news with a fucking bang. Suddenly what he said, nobody cared about because people were like, yeah, illegal immigrants are a fucking problem. We have a fucking problem. And so he started rising back up. He did what he wasn't supposed to do, man. He challenged the press and won. You don't do that. You don't challenge the press and win. Are you kidding? These people decide what we think. That's what happened there. That's why they hate Trump. And if you don't believe me, go back. Go back to 2016. Sorry, he announced in 2015, the end of 2015. Go back to that time and watch the news coverage. Watch what happened there. Suddenly they hated the fuck out of him for nothing. Everything he said, there was hate. He actually won in spite of them, which just made them hate him more because he wasn't supposed to win. They'd already done their job and knocked him out. They'd already taken him out of the race. He was supposed to go away like a good little boy. And he didn't. And then he had the nerve to beat Hillary after they were telling us there was no way in hell he was going to win. No way. 98%. The New York Times was telling us. 98%. There was only 2% chance he was going to win, y'all. And he did. And they were pissed. And they're still pissed about it. Then we were going to have the blue wave. Remember that? The blue wave. 60 plus Democrats taking over the House. At least 60. No, didn't happen. The press has lost their hold, man, and they don't understand that. They don't understand that, and they don't understand why it's happening, and they're lashing out at Trump because they blame him for it. And, and he's part of it. He is part of it because they're watching, they're going, what the fuck are you talking about? We see them repeatedly just lie about this man over and over and over again. Flat out lie about him. To the point now, he came out and made a direct statement again against racism and white supremacy. And what do we have? We don't believe we don't mean it. He didn't mean it. We don't believe that. We don't believe that at all. I mean, it's amazing. Scribe asked tonight, what would it take for them to actually believe it if Donald Trump said that he wasn't racist? I'm like, there's nothing he can say. Nothing he can say. Except for here's the thing. They don't believe he's racist. They don't believe he's racist. They know he's not. My favorite one is when they tell us he's a fucking anti-Semite, with his Jewish son-in-law and converted Jewish daughter. Yeah, nah, man, he hates them dirty Jews, man. Don't pay attention to his family and how much he loves his family. Don't pay attention to that. No. They don't like Trump because he beat them. He beat them. As Faithless said it well. They went all in on a fixed horse race and still lost, and they did, and it was horrible for them. They don't know how to react to that. See, a lot of these people who are in the press now, they got into the press because they're activists. That's what they went in. I want to. You'll even see journalism students say this. It's like, why do you want to get into journalism? Well, I want to change the world. Oh, you want to be a politician? Because that's their job. A journalist is out there to tell stories. And you know what? Yeah, I mean, you can affect policy that way, and they absolutely do. But when you become a reporter, your job is to report the news. But that's not what they do. That's not what they do at all. They fucking lie. They outright lie these days. I mean, oh God, their best source is people familiar with the matter. They can't even actually name sources anymore because they know they're making this shit up. And now we're to the point where you actually have a newsman in Joe Scarborough out there telling us that it's okay to basically dox people. This is their name. This is the city they live in. This is the business they own. And we don't like what they did. So go get them, guys. Go get them. That's the name of the game. Thank you, Lion Patriot. Monkey's rage truth is greater than Polly's. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I can't help it. I was talking with Satsu after the show as I was reading this stuff. I'm like, so you're going to go game, right? Well, yeah. And I started reading this shit. I'm like, you know what? I said, I got to do a monkey in the morning. So I know it's early, but I got to do it. I got to get this shit out of my brain or it's just going to sit there and fester and it's going to actually fucking explode. Real quick, Polly, I see in the chat. And if you want to come on, bud, I will invite you. I just want to get a little bit more of this out of my brain real fast. Because it's pissing me off. It's pissing me off to the point. And I've always said I'm conservative leaning Republican, but I don't hate people who disagree with me. I don't think most of them have bad intentions. I think liberals, for the most part, are good people. They just have different ways of viewing the world. And part of what's upsetting me is that I'm having trouble justifying that belief. I'm having a lot of trouble justifying that belief because I'm seeing this stuff and I'm seeing the people cheering it on. I'm seeing people cheering on doxing people because they donated to Trump. And now they're going, look, this is all publicly available information. Like, okay, fine. How many people went and looked it up? Seriously, how many people went and looked it up? Of course it's publicly available. Nobody goes and looks. You know who looks? The FCC. That's it. The FEC, sorry. Because nobody else cares. Nobody cares. You did this because you want to target those people. And the worst part is, Julian, sorry, Joaquin, you're the stupid twin, apparently. You don't even have the balls to say it. You don't even have the balls to say what you mean. You're a fucking pussy. You go out there and you like, I'm gonna get them. I'm gonna put them on this list. Watch, I'm gonna get them. They supported Trump. I'm gonna go get them. But I'm not getting them. No, guys, I'm not actually getting them. No. I was just pointing it out because it's public record. You lying coward. You absolute lying coward. How many of those people have kids? Grandkids? How many of them did you just put in really bad danger of one of these fucktards out there who like to call themselves left and are looking for a reason to go hurt somebody? Huh? Do you care? Joaquin, if somebody goes out and kills, let's see, who's on your top on your list there? Mary Barrett. Somebody kills her tomorrow. How do you feel? Do you hold a press conference and go, hey, that information was already public. That's her fault. You know what you were doing, man. You know what you were doing. You know why you did it. And why are you such a cunt about it, man? Why can't you man up, you little bitch? Monkey, this doc really seems like convenient timing with Antifa planning some training in Texas soon, right? Interesting, huh? They're headed down to El Paso. I don't know, man. It's not that I'm surprised by this. I'm not. It's what I said. I'm having trouble justifying the belief that the people on the other side actually have good intentions, because I just don't see it anymore. I don't see it at all. I see it as hate and control. The other one from Mr. Aslan, asshole, whatever his name is, that started because Kellyanne Conway said she wanted to eradicate hate. And he found a way to get offended by that and take that and twist it into, we need to eradicate Trump supporters. Now, and if you just say, he said we need to eradicate Trump supporters, it sounds like a joke. But if you read the rest of it, it actually sounds like an angry, drunken rant. That doesn't seem like he was joking about it. Anyhow, guys, man, yeah. I'm having trouble with the justification that they're good people. I want to believe they are. I really do. I don't want to believe that half the country are fucking horrible jackasses who would rather see somebody die than vote different than them. And there's part of me that's holding out hope, but it's getting harder and harder. And yes, I know, and I have invited the guys on now, and I know Polly will say, Twitter's not real life, and you're right, it's not. But it's not just Twitter, man. It's leaking into everything. It's leaking into the news. I mean, to where you have news personalities now out there just saying Trump is racist. They're not even pretending. They're not even going, he said something racist. No. Trump is racist, period. Mad says I'm centered as fuck. Look, I don't choose right or left. I choose what I think is correct. And that's the side I fight on. But as I'm watching the partisan games, Democrats are dirty, man. They're dirty. They're fucking horrible people. They're just fucking horrible people. Did you see the protest at McConnell's house last night? No, but I'm not surprised. These assholes, they're going to get someone killed. Remember the Steve Scalise shooting? Anybody remember that? Guy went to a fucking softball game where Republican members of Congress were playing and tried killing them. Did you hear the media once suggest that guy was incited by anything from the left? The media never pointed that out. They never went, hey, all this hateful rhetoric coming from the left. When you tell them that people are supporting terrorism, that they're racists, that they're part of the KKK with their red hat. Nah, man, that wasn't insightful. No. You'll notice as we talk about these shootings, because they keep bringing up, the shootings from the last couple of days, 2 of the 3. Nobody mentions Chicago. Don't mention the black people getting killed. That's the DNC. They don't really care about that. Now they had some Mexicans who got killed. Woohoo! Look at that. We got a photo op, dead Mexicans. But there was the other shooting was in Dayton, and all indicators say this guy was a fucking hardcore lefty. He was a hardcore lefty. They throw in the numbers still, but they don't talk about that shooting. They only talk about El Paso because if we mention the fact that liberal rhetoric is getting people killed, well, that's not going to matter. Ooh, shh, just let it happen. I don't blame the rhetoric, but I'm getting tired of seeing it only blamed on one side. If you pick up a gun and you go shoot people, that's on you. You're a douchebag. It's on you. I don't blame Democrats for what happened to Steve Scalise. Although I do have to say, when you're doing things like putting out a hit list, that's a little bit different. That's a little bit different. Joaquin. That's actually, I mean, what else are you doing with that, man? Seriously. Public shaming? Bullshit. Eat me, motherfucker. I don't believe you for a minute. You told people where they live. All they got to do is find a phone book. They know the city. They know the name. Monkey, did you see a whole bunch of MAGA people went to Baltimore and helped clean up and give support? Yeah, I saw that. And yeah, the left will still find a way to call it racist, but it doesn't matter, man. That's what I was talking about with Trump. I mean, it doesn't matter what he ever says or does. It doesn't matter. He could have sex with Al Sharpton on stage and they'd still be like, he's still a racist. Because that's what they need him to be. That's what they need him to be. They need to turn this next election into Donald Trump is the horrible racist. See, there was another part that really killed him. See, it wasn't just that he won. Remember we talked about him winning. Oh, that pissed him off. That pissed him off real bad. But then what happened? Russia. Oh, like we're going to get him. We got him, man. Look, he might have beat us in the election here, but we're going to take him down. He's going to be the first president removed since Nixon wasn't even removed. He left. All right, the first one to have to leave since Nixon. He may have beat us, but we're going to take him out. What? There's nothing to Russia? Fuck, fuck this guy. He beat him again. He beat him twice. Beat him twice. And they hate that, man. They hate that. And that's when you started seeing the people in the news, the actual news entertainers, as our friend Polly likes to call them, start dropping the R word, start calling him racist. And we've seen that in the last couple of days, the last week or so. Oddly enough, since the Mueller testimony, you've started actually seeing not just people writing opinion columns, but actual people on broadcast news and in their reports calling him racist. Not saying somebody else called him racist. Them actually saying it. They've got to find a way to beat him. Yeah, that's what he did. He beat the press. And don't you dare. They control things, y'all. They tell us how it's done. They're the ones that tell you how you're supposed to think. Don't you know that? That's just how it is. But it's gotten ridiculous to the point where you now have elected officials releasing the donor names of somebody else. And yes. 100 times, yes, it's public information. But who goes and looks that shit up? Don't sit there and pretend. Don't sit there and fucking pretend that this is a normal thing for people to do. Kiss my ass. How you doing, Jack?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm in pain and angry.
That's a horrible combination.
It really is. I'm tired of this shit, Jack. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of seeing liberals act like this and get a pass for it. Hateful, horrible shit and get a pass for it.
Well, it's not going to get any better anytime soon.
I know. And that angers me as well. I mean, I keep everybody's waiting for it. Everybody wants that Senator have you no shame moment. We're all waiting for it. And it never
It's not going to happen,
comes.
dude. No,
It
the
doesn't
press is
come.
the press is molding the narrative that they want to see, and that's inspiring people to say ridiculous shit. And when they do say ridiculous shit, then they get exactly what they want.
Faithless says public info, but of no particular note and not newsworthy. Exactly. The only time that information is newsworthy is if the FCC or FEC goes in there and like, oh, we have a campaign donation irregularity. It's the only time anybody cares about that donor list. About Joaquin, just gonna go drop it because hey, look, I'm not targeting people.
Yeah, it's you get the impression after a while that they want people to get hurt. And then when people do get hurt, they act shocked.
That's I blame the I don't want to say this. I try to blame the person who did it, you know. The kid in San Antonio. Where was it? San Antonio, El Paso. I forget where the shooting was. El Paso. He did that. The kid in Dayton, he did that. But as I see stuff like this, I mean, if something happens to one of those 49 people on that list, it's going to be really hard for me to say Joaquin Castro isn't responsible for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a hit list. It's what it is.
Oh, it absolutely is. But they'll deny that and be like, oh, I didn't foresee such consequences. Bullshit. That's the problem. We have such disingenuous people out there now that they honestly seem to not care if somebody gets hurt. And they can fake it all they want. Their actions speak louder than their phony apologetics.
Well, they talk about if you call illegal aliens, it's dehumanizing. Makes it easier to be mean to them. Like, well, isn't it dehumanizing to the way you talk about Republicans? Isn't it? Aren't you trying to make? Fact. I know. Me and my damn hate facts. They've been doing that for fucking decades, man. That's why I anytime I hear, both sides. Okay, yes. You know what? Republicans can be shitty. Yes, they can blah, blah, blah. They have nothing on the Democrats, period. They are dirty shitbags who will tell you things like they want your grandma to die.
Yeah, then they tell you that the politician is going to put you back in slavery.
Yeah.
They're going to throw you off a cliff, etc. What concerns me is that they're talking about dehumanization, but I think it's more dehumanizing to have an other group. You have a group of people that come in, can't speak the language, don't know the culture, can't assimilate. You're creating ostracization, and you're creating the scenario, the ghettoization of those people, and that is a setup for strife in itself. Because those people are going to be competing for jobs, and the people they're competing with that are English speakers that do know the culture are going to see them as an other, and they are going to see them as outsiders and invaders. And if they don't think that, go ask the Romani what that's like.
Well, that's the thing. Castro, Joaquin Castro, part of his shit is that, he calls them invaders. They are invaders.
Yeah, that's literally the definition of an invader. They show up where they're not wanted without permission, and they start taking your shit.
Yeah.
That is an invader. I'm sorry. It's not an organized invasion, but it's an invasion.
But don't call it, don't say that, man, because Jacob says saying both sides is true, but it doesn't bar it from being a cop-out when one side is clearly worse in any given scenario. Exactly. That's the point. That's
a very succinct answer. I don't know, man. I think it's going to get a lot worse, but everybody tells me I'm a doomsayer and blah, blah, blah. No, this has happened before. There's always somebody that comes in, a strong personality during situations like this and says, I can deliver you from whatever your evils are.
Yeah. And man, Twitter has pissed me off the last 2 days.
That's why I've been staying off it lately. I've been getting nothing but pissed off, and honestly, I have real world shit to deal with. I can't deal with the nonsensical drama queens that live and thrive on Twitter. And I've been talking with a lot more people, and they are repeating a lot of these talking points.
Yeah.
And people that say that Twitter doesn't affect the real world, it does. And maybe not on a massive extent, but you hear people repeating those things because social media is part of life. I know Polly will disagree with me on that, but I think Twitter does have an influence in society. It may not be to the extent that people that are online a lot see it, but yeah, there is an influence in the greater cultural context.
I think that its influence is getting stronger. I think it gets stronger every day. And like I said, with Scarborough, I realize it's MSNBC, but he's still an actual news host out there saying the president is racist.
Yeah. Yeah. And their evidence is often tweets or social media posts. And they cite those as news sources. That's journalism these days. And that's why it bleeds over into other aspects of the culture.
I see Twitter as more of a bellwether than necessarily a direct reflection of society. I see it as more of where it's going.
I can see that. I would say it's part of both, though, because it's a vicious circle with the media. You know, somebody posts something asinine, it gets spread around. Eventually, the media picks it up, and that creates the opinions people hold.
I don't think it's necessarily a very far in the future bellwether.
Yeah.
You're right. It's probably a mix. It's not meaningless. And this is why right now, I don't think Trump would win if there was an election right now. I think he would lose because I think that and again, partially is this because he hasn't had a chance to actually campaign, but just the entirety of the negative shit that has been thrown at him. I don't think he would win. He's got Twitter is definitely out there for the other side. YouTube's out there. Google's out there for him. I don't know how he fights that in this election.
I don't either. When you have all of your media sources conspiring against someone, it's hard for them to recover from that. And I think that's going to bleed down to more ordinary people over time. I mean, look at how easily people are thrown off platforms now and socially ostracized. I mean, you might as well wear scarlet letters at that point.
I'm expecting at least a temporary ban. That asshole who was trying to defend Castro's tweet, I may have called him a pathetic pussy.
Well, truth hurts.
I know. Yeah, if that one gets reported on, I'll be going away for a few days, guys. So make sure you look out for my cousin over there. But yeah, it's become it's a bigger and bigger bubble, and you're not allowed to be in there if you disagree, especially if you treat them the way they treat others. All media is skewed to make it seem like Trump is hated. Just look at his rallies. I get that. Speechless or faithless. Sorry, I do. His rallies, he's still drawing in the crowds, and that's why I think he could still get elected. He is the incumbent, so historically, he's probably going to get elected. But we're in a new media age. Obama never should have been elected. By all measures, he should have lost. But we were coming into this new media age, and elections aren't predictable like they used to be. So I don't know what'll happen. And watching the media just come out so harsh, straight against him, man, straight against him. I mean, I I've never seen anything like this in my life. And I'm not just talking on Twitter. I'm talking the fucking news. Just flat out against a candidate like that. Like, man, wow. And they've been like this since 2015.
Oh, I'd be willing to bet a lot of it goes back even further. But, it's one of those things that a lot of times you're in a situation and you can't see the entire field of what's happening. And you can't see it until it's too late, hindsight. So I don't think we're going to ever see the full ramifications of this until well after it's all over.
Yeah, I don't think the election's going to be predictable until the night of the election. And then the bigger effects of that, you're right, that's going to take years probably to figure out. Jack, I said this before you got in here. The biggest problem for me with this, I'm wondering what you think about this. I've always said that the people on the other side are good people. They just have different ideas. And I'm having a hard time justifying that thought in my head. I'm having a hard time with some of the shit that I've seen. And it probably is just a select few. But I see so many likes and retweets and people cheering this shit on. It's so hard for me to believe that, no, they're actually good people. They just have different ideas anymore. They actually seem like bad fucking people.
Well, good people can become bad people very easily. Remember there's photos from, was it Auschwitz, where the staff all got together at some nearby resort and they're all smiling and happy, and it was during the peak extermination period. There's a documentary on it that's really good. That is kind of one of the things that you look at and be like, well, they may have been good people at one point, but at what period do you become a bad person? At what point is it you've crossed the Rubicon from being a good person that naively believes something, and then you witness enough to know that, to make an honest assessment that maybe you're the bad guy? Because not all people are good people. It's just a fact of life.
True.
And anybody that doesn't recognize evil as existing, I think, is foolish and naive. And I've seen some really monstrous people in my life that I have no doubt would stab a kid if they could get away with it. And that convinced me that there's plenty of evil people in the world. But I think a lot of people start out with good intentions. They may believe their intentions are good, but the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And that is a very truism that has held up well over the decades. My sentence structure is awful tonight.
You're fine.
But you get the idea.
Lioness, are we the baddies? That is something I talk to myself about often. I go over my thoughts and my opinions and where I stand on issues, and I compare it to my morality. That's why anytime it comes up, we should do to them what they do to us. I'm like, no, that's not right, because that's not. I have principles, and that's how you keep from becoming bad, is principles. I just don't think a lot of people do have them. They claim to, until it becomes time to throw them out the window so that they can support their friend.
Yeah, exactly. My dad once told me, I came home from school from, I think I was in like 5th or 6th grade, and we were talking, and he asked me what I learned in school, and I said, well, I learned that all violence is bad. And he said, no, that's your teacher lying to you.
Mm-hmm.
Because there is a time for violence.
Yes. And
that really stuck with me, because, he said, I think it was a World War II lesson. Man, we're really coming back to that Nazi analogy at my house today. So he said, well, if people hadn't used violence at Normandy, we'd all be speaking German. You cannot roll over every time something is going to get violent. Yes, violence hurts. It's physically painful. People get seriously injured, but there's a time where being violent is the right thing to do. And I have to agree with him. My life experience has taught me that, yes, there are times where You have to get violent to protect someone else, to protect yourself, to protect the things you love. It's not the optimal solution. It shouldn't be your first solution, but it is a solution. And sorry.
I can't tell if that's you or me. Chad, is
me.
Do you hear him? Can you? Do I
They're
sound like I'm robotic? Okay. We could still tell what you were saying. It was just intermittent there. Yeah, there's absolutely a time for violence. Anybody who says that violence is never the answer is going to be a victim one day, or is a very likely victim. Don't worry about Jay. It's streaming on YouTube. We know how it goes. But somebody asked, aren't some principles bad? Sure. But you have to sit there and decide for yourself. You have to sit down and decide for yourself what you believe in. What is the line? Where is too far? What is something you're not willing to do? Look, I see the shit that these fuckers do. Like right now, you know what I'd really love to do? Go get Joaquin Castro's donor list and publish it. I mean, it's not wrong, right? It's public information.
Yeah.
But I consider that to be horrific behavior. I would know in my heart that I was putting out a fucking hit list.
Yeah. You know what else would be public information? Where his kids go to school.
Yeah.
Where his supporters' kids go to school. That doesn't mean that's okay. That doesn't make it right. And it's despicable to do something like that. You do not create a hit list. That's not okay.
Shroom says, Monkey, I'm a bit older. I remember quite well how the press treated Reagan. That was the beginning of the downright exposed hostility from the press. You know what, Shroom, it's funny you mention that because I see people talk often about how Reagan got along so well with the press. Now, I was young, but I remember. Let's see, in 84, I was 9 years old. So I'd already started watching the news with mom and stuff. And then as I got older, he was just getting out of office as I was really coming into paying attention to politics. And I'm a fan of Reagan's speeches and his dealing with the press. I couldn't say if I was a big fan of his policies. Excuse me, because I don't remember them. But I really do. Like, he would fuck with the press outright. He would just fuck with them. And there was it was well known that there was a hatred between the press and Reagan. But now, what are we, 30 years later? It's like, no, he loved the press. Like, did you not pay attention? Oh, that's right. You're a reporter. Of course you didn't. Yeah, they hated him, and he hated them right back. He handled it better. He was more articulate and witty than Trump is. He never went wrong. He never did that kind of shit. But yeah, man, there was open animosity. And it's odd, you know, the only times I can't remember open animosity from the press is when there's a Democrat in office. It's weird.
Weird, yeah.
I don't understand. Maybe it's something they teach in journalism school. I don't know.
So much journalism.
Well, we talked about that a little earlier, Jack. It is amazing to me because journalism should be telling stories. And if you're going into the news, it should be just giving us the facts of what's happened. Mm-hmm. But so many of these people, if you see them when they go into journalism school, it's like, I want to change the world. I think you're in the wrong job. You really should be a politician if that's your job. Except for they're right. They're right. They know the power of media.
Yeah. If
you want to be powerful, guys, get in media. Politicians have got nothing on them. They're the ones who, I'm telling you, that's why they got so mad at Trump, man. He was supposed to disappear when they just labeled him a racist. That's the end of it. He said, Mexicans are rapists and murderers. He can't be president now. And then he came back and kicked their asses, and they hate it.
Oh, yeah, and they've been after him ever since because they got to get their ounce of blood.
Yep. Charles says, Monkey, the left were always bad people. The mask finally slipped off and exposed them for who they really are. See, I don't believe that. I don't. And I know lefties who are good people. Even to this day, I consider them good people. But I know some who have sold out what they claim their beliefs were. Jedi Ghost Bear, thank you so much. Journalism is magical and not at all broken, right? Sure.
Yeah, I took a old antique bed frame down to one of my friends who lives 100-some miles away, and all she did was complain about, and I'm quoting here, Trump's America. And I had to sit through my entire lunch with her and her girlfriend, and all they did was bitch about how bad things are. And I was like, you both have jobs. Nobody you know is in a death camp. What are you complaining about? But every time you point something out, you're an apologist.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, I really think that things are going to get a lot more heated as the election comes around, and there's these little spurts of violence are going to keep cropping up.
We've talked about this many, many times on Lords at Night. I don't know if we've talked about it much here. I'm not a huge Trump fan. I'm really not. But when we talk about the news so often, I have to defend him because they're lying about him. Outright fucking lying. You make me defend him when you do that. And then it's like, oh, you Trump lover. No, didn't vote for the man. The only reason I'm glad he won is because I knew there would be a Supreme Court nomination coming up. And I was really glad when a second one did, because if Hillary had those spots, your freedom of speech would be gone, y'all.
Yeah, it'll be hate speech now.
Yep. That's the only reason I'm glad he was president. But I did not vote for him. And I probably won't vote for him this next time.
I might vote for him just to spite people that I know.
I see, this is one of those principle things. Mm-hmm. I won't vote for somebody I wouldn't actually want in the office.
See, I would rather have him in office than some of the clowns that are running against him.
That's fair enough. Fair enough.
So that's the only reason I don't trust politicians to begin with. And man, I could not bring myself to vote for any of these clowns.
I vote for somebody that I would actually like to see in the office. That's why my first write-in vote was for my best friend. My last one was for my wife. So I'll probably write in again. But I get labeled a Trump supporter because I defend him a lot because they lie about him a lot.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time. The last time that I actually laid into Trump was for one of his stupid ass tweets. And the time before that was for one of his stupid ass tweets. I can't remember the last time. Oh, yes, I can. I can remember the last time he did something that I was like, Mr. President, no. It was when he was talking about maybe taking away NBC's license because he didn't like the way they reported on him. Like, no, sorry.
Well, see, he's one of those guys that talks a lot, but if he's not trying to actually do it, I don't know. I think most people around him are like, we're not going to let you do that.
We don't get to talk about his policies because it never comes down to that. I mean, like right now, we're talking. He came out and actually made a speech today about how he's against white supremacy.
Yeah.
And the New York Times ran an article about, nah, not really. He doesn't believe that.
That's a dog whistle to the alt-right.
Fucking dog whistle. Which, again, only Democrats seem to be able to hear.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Oh, man. Yeah. Obama actually locked up journalists, so let Trump talk. He rarely follows through with his threats. I get you, Becca. I do. But I don't like our president making that threat. I hold that part of the First Amendment as strongly as I do free speech. We need a fair, open press. We do. It is vital, and we just don't have one. That's the problem. That's why things like Twitter and YouTube are so important, and why the banning of conservatives is so fucked up. Because we're getting to actually see how it works. We're going to see how it works. This is how it's the equivalent of what would happen in a newsroom if you're, oh wait, you're conservative. Yeah, we don't have that spot anymore. We're gonna have to let you go. Sorry, we're gonna give it to the beatnik who's coming in after you. Yeah, so it's the same. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, they're creating the echo chambers because the people that would listen to an opposing voice are now going to leave with the person they let go.
Yep. And it doesn't matter. I mean, it still amazes me that Rush Limbaugh's on the air. They've taken so many hits at that motherfucker, and a few of them have hurt him pretty bad. They the last one where they boycotted him real bad, that one hurt a little bit, but he bounced back. But he's the only one who does. He's the only one who bounces back from this shit when they finally go full bore on him.
Yeah.
Everyone else goes away.
Well, and he's at the point now where he's got enough money that they're not gonna be able to shut him down completely.
Well, that's what has saved him, is because by the time they finally noticed him, he had fuck you money.
Yeah.
And good for him. I mean, and look, I'm not even a huge Rush fan. I'm a fan of how he's made and contained his business, because it's actually a very smart strategy what he did. I'm a conservative. I'm just going to talk about this every day for 3 hours, and actually, it comes like with commercials, it comes to like hour and a half. You fucking lazy bitch. I talk more than that in a day. Thank you, Kevin Duggan. Soph is banned from PayPal, maybe Chase Bank by age 15, right? Well, hey, we got to deplatform him. You can't let that racist make money because, she made a joke about becoming a Muslim and marrying her uncle, because that never happens. That never happens, y'all.
That's what worries me about the banks doing this. You're going to create an underground economy, and that is going to be the new form of bootlegging.
It should be illegal for banks to do that.
Absolutely. I'm surprised it's not. But the more they do this shit, the more they're just entrenching the person they're banning and all of their followers in their belief that society is out to get them. You're creating the radicals and you're creating criminals, because once they can't use all these important popular platforms, especially with money, they're going to have to go underground. And do you think that's going to make them better somehow? Because there's no form of redemption now.
No, there's not.
You can't come back from being called a white nationalist. You're branded forever. So by banning people from being able to use like PayPal, they have a lot of influence and a lot of power, and not having access to their platform is really damaging to someone.
Check Your Logic says, Soph repeats extremist views, but I'm not really mad. I feel sorry for her. What extremist views? I've watched Soph. She's not extremist. She's pretty much where I am. She cusses just about as much as well. I mean, Jack has auto-tune. It does a little bit sound like that, doesn't it? It's just connection things. It'll fix. Don't worry. The banks are going too far. Absolutely. And Lindsay said, you want to stop this shit and the Fed. I don't blame the Fed for it either. Yeah, Jacob, Soph is edgy at worst. That's what she's edgy. She's an edgy 14-year-old. She's what a lot of people were 2 years ago on this very platform. She's just better at it than most of them ever were. What was I going to say? Oh, with the banks, man. When it comes to Twitter and stuff, fine. Is that the end of your life, not being able to be on Twitter? No. But when it comes to the banking stuff, now you're fucking with people's lives. I mean, especially these days, people don't use cash most of the time anymore. How do you shop online with cash? Real quick.
Exactly.
Sorry, Far. We're making her sneak watch. I'm so sorry, honey. I had some ranting I had to get out of my fucking brain. What a day. Didn't Soph threaten Susan Wojcicki? Yes, she did. She made a very horrible joke about killing Susan. And even Susan is like, yes, that was a joke. Other than that, I mean, she does, and she does these little skits at the beginning of her videos sometimes, and that's usually where she gets the label of going too far. And yeah, they usually go too far because she's being an edgy teenager. Fuck, I can't imagine what I would have done if I had a camera and an audience at 14, man. Jesus, fuck. Y'all have seen my dick a lot. Mustafa says they still banned her anyway. They didn't ban her over that one. They did give her a strike because it was a community violation. And I agree with that. And she was wrong for that part. She was directly threatening a person. And yeah, even as a joke, you can't do that. Sorry. Thank you, Miles. Hey, Monkey, honestly, who do you know that will take on the crazy left in tech? Say what you want about Trump, but he's a lot braver than others. Look, I'll give you his braveness, man. But again, Trump has what is called fuck you money. Even if Trump lost the election or whatever, he's not going to be poor. He's got enough money. He does not give a fuck what you think about what he says. That helps, especially in this society where they can literally turn off your bank account if you say the wrong word. And we're not talking about like the FBI stepping in because, oh, this is drug money and we're seizing the account, which, by the way, I should not happen either. But we're talking literally just shutting off that account because they said something you don't like on Twitter. Said something you don't like on 8chan. That should scare the fuck out of people. Becca says she talked about the LGBT community and she knew it was going to happen. Oh, are you talking about Soph? Soph's screwed. She's not going to be able to come back unless she pulls a Keemstar. Because remember, Keemstar is banned from YouTube. People forget that. Keemstar cannot have a channel on YouTube. That's why he doesn't. He works for somebody else on YouTube. So you can be on a channel as long as you're not running that channel.
Yeah.
If I ever get banned, Lady Monkey will have a YouTube channel, and I will be the host of the show.
Well, they're even kind of cutting down on that with look at Monkey Jones tried that with his girlfriend running channel, and they took that down.
Well, he got in trouble because what happened with him was he went on a second channel when he had timeouts on two others, and he went on to one that was his own. So he got in trouble for flouting their rules like that so quickly, even though all he did was go over there to explain, what happened. Oops. Have you ever heard of American Krogan? No, I haven't. Keem runs his channel. Not legally. YouTube really hates Mumkey. Mumkey hates himself, man. Have you guys seen his latest stuff? Holy fuck. That dude has just lost his fucking mind. That's whew. I don't like to play armchair psychologist, but that dude needs some help. And he said he's gotten onto some, drugs to help him and stuff, and I hope it works. But I haven't seen one recently. Well, if he's released one, but his last 3 that I watched, oh my god, like the one where he told everybody he kind of sort of got engaged to the pedo fluffy girl.
Yeah, that's weird.
Oh my god, that was such a hard video to watch. But I couldn't stop. It was like you could see the train coming and the lady standing on the track. And you're like, move. Oh shit. I mean, yeah, that was bad. That was bad to watch, man. He just looked oof. Which is sad because I mean he is a funny guy and I did used to like some of his stuff, but wow. Isn't Mumkey the guy that made a parody song about an incel shooter? Yes. I haven't checked to see if Drama Alert was still around. That's why I was surprised to hear Keemstar was banned from YouTube. No, he's been banned from YouTube for years. Thank you, Kevin. Let me get that up there. The Fed swatted channel Anthony Brian Logan. I was watching. Scary. Nice. Don't worry, guys. When they put out names publicly and the city you live in, it's not a hit list. Don't worry. I fucking hate this world, man.
Yep, people are getting stupid.
But yeah, it's, Lindsay. Drama Alert's still around. I still love Drama. Drama Alert. Why was Keem banned? I forget why. It's been a while. It's been a long while. He was banned 2 or 3 years ago. I think it was actually before I got onto YouTube. But if you go back and watch the drama between him and what's the no chin guy's name? Leafy. I believe it came up there. Yeah, Keem doesn't have a YouTube channel, y'all. He's just the host of Drama Alert. It's like Brian Wilson doesn't own a network. He's just the host on the evening news or whatever, whoever's on there now. I remember Leafy. Lots of people remember Leafy. I hope that motherfucker put his money away when he had it, because he was bringing in fat bank there for a while. Anyhow, so Jack, what else is going on in life, man?
I don't know.
I
don't do much. I was busy all day moving furniture and cleaning out storage unit. So
the let's move on to I'll share a happy thing with the audience. I got a text from my daughter today, and it said, Grand Monkey told me earlier that you are her best friend. I was like, does she need a car? What does she need? I will buy her whatever she wants. Oh, she's such a sweetheart. They're coming up this weekend. I can't wait to see him. And then we have her Labor Day weekend for 3 days. It's going to be awesome. That's my sweetie. That's my little sweetheart. And she is. Me and her, we were best friends there for like 2 years because me and her were always together. I watched her all the time. And so, yeah, for the long, and I'm crippled, so it's not like I could take her to play groups and stuff. So it was me and her playing. And so, yeah, she's my little best friend. I can't wait to see her.
That's cool.
Yeah, after 4 years, she finally weighs 30 pounds. She's so tiny, y'all.
Damn.
There was a time a guy got swatted over a COD argument. Oh, got shot on his front porch. It was the wrong guy got shot in that one. Yeah, swatting is dirty, man. It's dirty as fuck, and the people who do it should go to prison.
Yeah, just remember that Ian Miles Chong.
Right? Yeah. No, man, it wasn't him.
No, but
wasn't me. Swear, too many people watched fucking Raw. They missed the whole point of that. It's like when you're saying that, you're admitting it was you, dumbass. Oh, man. I can't take the Twitter anymore. I do see we love you 3000 is trending.
What?
In Marvel. Join the Russo brothers for a live Twitter session this Thursday. Tweet your questions now using the hashtag Avengers Endgame and we love you 3000, which, by the way, and I know I'm going to get some hate for this, was one of the dumbest lines of that movie.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, fuck, this is going to be cheesy as shit.
Yep.
Excuse me.
Maybe somebody will ask the Russo brothers why they're part of the woke narrative now.
Pete says, what does that mean? I love you 3000. Well, it's not really a spoiler, and I don't want to spoil things, but at the very, very near the early part of Endgame, Iron Man has a daughter, and she says to him, I love you 3000. So, what was that up there? Hang on, I saw Renting Monkey, a red flag call, already got a man killed, and that was done by a family member who hated the fact he supported Donald Trump. Yeah, look, I'm not a fan of red flag laws. I think those are fucking a violation of several rights. And yeah, nothing good can come from those, because What happens when they go to take his gun and he's sitting there holding it and won't let go of it? There's a man who's done nothing wrong.
Oh, SWAT teams have gotten a lot more violent. They'll just shoot him
Yeah.
as soon as they see he's got a weapon.
Yep. Oh, he's got a weapon. We had to put him down. What was he doing? Well, he was sitting there. Well, why were you there? Well, somebody told us he might be dangerous.
Well, nobody really asks questions anymore. They just let it happen.
Oh, man. People these days think The Boy Who Cried Wolf is about bringing attention to wolf attacks.
Very true.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I think the left paid way too much attention to The Boy Who Cried Wolf and Chicken Little, because those seem to be their two favorite characters. They're all running around doing both of those things. The sky is falling. There's a wolf. Yeah. They missed the point of The Boy Who Cried Wolf, when the boy gets eaten at the end because nobody cares about his lying anymore.
Well, I think there are certain people that are hardwired to always be in crisis mode.
Fair
and
enough.
They really kind of thrive off of the adrenaline rush of being afraid.
Well, I don't know if you remember or if you were on the show that night, but I talked about a video I had found. And I was seriously thinking of responding to it. But it was this young lady. It was a video called Why I'm Afraid of Men.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, and for those of you who weren't here that night, it was a video, and I'm not making this up, where she told us story after story about how she encountered men who did not hurt her. How she was scared of them when she saw them, but nothing happened. And that was her justification for being scared of men. I'm like, so your own fear is why you fear men, and that makes sense to you. That sounded rational enough to put in a fucking video. Yeah, people are saying speechy. Yeah, it was speechy. That is a fucking retarded video. There's Mr. Dax. Yeah, it sounds like paranoia. It absolutely is. She told a story. This is one of the stories. They'd just come in to the airport, just flown in, and they were out front, her mom, and her little sister. She was about 15 at the time. And the Uber drivers were not allowed to drive up to the curb, and she was trying to get her Uber driver there. And this black car pulls up and says, "Are you guys waiting for an Uber?" And her mom says, "Yeah." And he goes, "Well, I'm an Uber. I can take you." So mom gets in the car, and she was just scared the whole time. And the guy drove him home.
Holy shit. And he gave him the male gaze through the rear view mirror every time he looked for traffic.
She was scared the whole time. Why? What happened? Nothing. If anything, normal people. Okay, I want to explain normal psychology to you. When you're exposed to something that you're afraid of and nothing bad happens, it tends to make you less afraid of it. To the point sometimes where it's detrimental to us. Over on the Streamlabs, thank you so much, Circus Zero, who says, wolves are falling from the sky, don't you know, monkey? Indeed, they are. The wolves are falling. Speechy makes a good argument for assisted suicide. Are we talking about an actual video? The only reason I went over there is because I saw, I forgot the guy's name, but he made a video about the animated YouTubers and how they don't take criticism well. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. About how they don't take criticism well. And I'd never heard of her. So I went over there and I was looking at the channel and I saw that video. I'm like, all right, I'll bite. And then I watched it. I'm like, oh, wow. Because the second story was even worse. To her assisted suicide. Okay, I got it. The second story she told was even worse. They'd come in again on the plane. And this time they were walking through a parking garage. And there were these three guys and there were these three vans. And the guys walked up to them and asked them if they needed a ride. And they said no. And the guys walked away.
Holy shit. Oh, that's like half a rape right there.
I know, right? I'm like, okay. That's not a reason for you to be afraid. It's literally the opposite. Excuse me, Pincalo, thank you so much. Don't forget, nursery rhymes have been dulled down so much that they all have happy, cheerful endings instead of a warning about life and death. Example, Little Red Riding Hood. Nobody talks about how they got Granny out of the wolf. I don't mind that the fairy tales have been that we've see. Okay, I got to talk about this for a minute. A lot of people are like, the original Grimm's fairy tales were so horrible. They're really not. They're not that bad. I've read them. I know a lot of people is like, well, have you read them? They're like, no, I heard that they were. No, they're not that bad. They're not graphic or anything. They're slightly different, and I don't mind them getting cleaned up a little bit for children. I really don't. And I get what you're saying there. I get the idea there, but I think the problem is that they're missing the point of the fairy tales in the first place. This girl narrowly escaped getting her organs harvested on the black market, right? She makes it sound like the only reason she was not abducted is because her dad is Liam Neeson or something. Like, so 3 guys with vans came up to you in an airport parking garage. So you mean the shuttles?
That's what they called them.
No, they're rape vans.
Obviously.
That's the world we're living in, though, man, where people are afraid of their fucking shadows these days. How do they get anything done?
I have no idea.
Oh, we saw an article the other day. I don't remember if it was this show or another one, but it was it's not safe to go anywhere. You can't go anywhere without the threat of being shot. I'm like, motherfuckers.
Dude, that's called life.
How many times have you been shot? Just because you see a news story, because the thing was, we can't go to Walmart anymore. How many times have you been shot at Walmart? Do you know how many people go in and out of a Walmart every day?
Millions.
And we had one shooting there, so now Walmart's unsafe. Really? That's how fucking pathetic you are. I hate to tell you this. There was a car crash just now while I was talking. Remember that when you're driving.
Hey, over on the Streamlabs, thank you, Circus Zero. He said, insert something witty. Okay. The secret to creativity is knowing how to hide your sources.
Ooh, I like that. If you're crying about not being able to go to Walmart anymore, you probably never go there anyway. Well, it was also, you can't go to school. Where else have we had shootings? You can't go to school. You can't go to church. You can't go to Walmart. You know what they didn't mention?
Thanks. Oh.
They didn't mention that you can't go to baseball fields.
Yeah, baseball fields.
That one never comes up. I don't know why. I ran the risk of getting shot every day. I left the wire in Iraq and Afghanistan. You know what I did? Wear my body armor, chamber my M4, and keep my head on a swivel.
Yeah. Situational awareness is something that humans tend to forget, too. Like, the world is not a safe place. If you're somewhere out of the ordinary, even if you're somewhere ordinary, pay attention to what's going on around you.
The chances of you getting shot by a gunman like this. Yeah, movie theaters. Thank you, Beth. That was the other one. The chance of you actually being involved in one of these are so slim, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, you have a better chance of getting struck by lightning. But it doesn't hurt to pay attention to what's going on around you. And knowing where the exits are, just in case of like a fire or something like that. You never know, but you can't be paranoid and let it affect your everyday life. We don't live in Beirut. Although if you do live in Beirut, you have my sympathies.
Yeah. Who said it? Somebody said people in fear are easier to manipulate and control. That's true. That is absolutely true. And that shit, you can't go to Chicago. That's not that, that one's actually true. Dangerous Spaces.
Yeah, that's MAGA country.
That's yeah. You got to be careful out there. You should be worried that they have you this much in fear of what could happen. That should worry you.
Well, it creates that hyper awareness, that sense of impending danger, and makes people do rash decisions, which are generally not always that good of a decision to do, because people that aren't conditioned to handle stress in that way react in a very primal way, and they take the first decision that seems good at the time, and that's not a good way to make decisions.
Agnostic Adred said Chicago isn't that unsafe, just west side and south side. So two of the four sides are unsafe. That's 50% unsafe, dude. I'm just throwing that out there. Chicago has some problems. They need to clean up the west and south. But anyhow, it just boggles my mind that people are that afraid. That they're that afraid. But I understand it. The first time I ever swam in the Atlantic, we watched Jaws the night before. And now I was a kid. I want to point that out. I was 10. It took me like 3 hours to get up the courage to go into the ocean. After that, man, I'll go in the ocean right now. I fucking love the ocean. But I was that afraid after watching that movie, and like sharks live in the ocean. The chance of me actually getting bit by a fucking shark are about the same as getting shot in a Walmart. But yeah, I mean, I was afraid. Didn't want to do it. If somebody would have said, if you go in there, you're going to get bit, I'll be like, nah, I'm not going. It's easy to control people when they're afraid.
Yep.
So
fear is a powerful motivator. And as social creatures, we look for somebody to lead us when we're afraid. That's why panic is so difficult. Because if nobody's giving you instructions and people panic, it's hard to recover from that and get them to listen to you. But they will obey an authority figure, even if it's a perceived authority figure. If somebody's yelling, "Oh, this way out," people will follow that direction.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it makes people listen to their baser instincts, and I think that's a lot of what's going on right now. Is people are scared, and they've been hyped up over the last 2 or 3 decades to really be on edge all the time. Fears of terrorism, fears of the other, fear of the evil gun wielders, etc., etc. But the news media constantly ramps up something to be afraid of.
I want to take 2 of the things in chat here. Dangerous Space said Neil deGrasse Tyson got in trouble for pointing out all the things you were more likely to die from than guns. I'm sure he did. I didn't see it, but I'm sure he did. And Green Badger, this is the one I really want to get into. Excuse me. Sorry, guys, my throat is still fucked up. It's hopefully recovering. But Monkey, if we don't live in terror, how are they going to keep you clicking on their websites and remove your constitutional rights? That's the problem for me right there. That's the problem for me. Because we're already starting to see it. We're already starting to see that we have too much freedom of speech. And that's the one, guys. I don't care what other rights you lose. When you lose that one, you're fucked. You're fucked. They can do anything. When you have to hide your opinions, that's when shit gets bad.
Yep. And they'll get to that one by taking the Second Amendment.
Yep.
Because once you take the Second Amendment, you have no right to defend yourself in any respect. And what are you going to do?
Nothing. You become a ward of the state. You
become a serf.
Yeah. You become a dirt farmer. Yeah, it sucks, man. Man, what a depressing topic. But it's a necessary one. And it's part of what I was talking about with that other shit with the Democrats and how fucking dirty they are. How fucking dirty they are. There was actually an ad. I forget what congressional district it was in. I think it was back in 2016, where they ran an ad because the guy was against abortion. They ran an ad that said he was going to get rid of condoms. He's going to get rid of all birth control, man, because he was against abortion. I'm like, what?
I don't think that's how that works.
They run ads. They want you to have dirty water. They want the air to suck. They want grandma dead and kids living under a bridge, jacking off homeless people for $3 a day. It's horrible the shit they get away with. And it's all fear based. And then that motherfucker had the nerve to say, we need to do what we never do. Use fear. You dirty lying son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, dirty lying son of a bitch. It's all you do.
That's just it. The tactic is to never admit that you're using fear because it's all legitimate. You're not using fear if you have something to be afraid of.
Right. Yeah. But come on. And I hate it. They're fucking dirty little liars, man. Exactly. Look how bad they treat us when we are armed. Man, Badger, them coming after the Constitution itself, that's the part that worries me.
Yeah. They're gonna if they come for the guns, it's gonna be a revolution. There'll be a civil war. And in my opinion, I really think that people are not going. There will be a lot of people that do not want to turn their guns in, that are either going to get killed or kill a lot of cops.
I'm just wondering how many cops are going to go along with that.
You'd be surprised. A lot of police officers do not believe that that the citizenry can handle having guns. And that's a recent development. It's part of the training stuff that they get now.
Gotcha.
A lot of times they're not hiring people off the street. They're hiring guys that came in from war zones, ex-military. So they're used to people with guns being incredibly dangerous.
Sure.
So their first response is to shoot them. And that's what they're getting. They're not getting people that are community members. They're getting people that are coming back from war zones. And that's not a slight against the military. They're just looking for somebody with that military mindset that, react first, paperwork later. There's no de-escalation. So anybody that has a weapon is considered the enemy. And that's a very dangerous way to do things.
Badger says, unfortunately, I lost all my firearms in a tragic boating accident.
Well, that happens.
It does.
I plan on donating all my firearms to get concert tickets.
Oh, nice.
So that I won't have any firearms when the day comes because I'm a compliant, good citizen who is not sad.
Becca says, all my cop friends said if it came down to it, they will take off their badge and stand with civilians. Most of them are veterans. Yeah. I know what Jack's talking about. I've seen some cops on TV. They like putting those ones up there where they talk about, I don't think that people should have guns. Somebody just brought up the red flag laws again. The red flag law, that's the one. That's where they're going to get people, guys. That is such a dangerous thing. And for Trump to come out in support of it. There you go. There's one where Mr. Trump, are you out of your fucking mind?
Well, concept-wise, it seems like a good idea, but it will be very, very heavily abused right away, and it will get people killed. Oh, sorry, you got a donation.
Shiograd, thank you so much. Where did that come through at? There it is. You ever been distracted by Jonathan Frakes jokes? No. Was I now? Maybe your founding fathers could see the future and knew with the rise of genetic engineering, you would be able to get bare arms. Yeah. I love when people argue about the Second Amendment and what the actual wording means. It's pretty fucking apparent unless you're an idiot.
Well, it's a disingenuous argument most of the time. The people that don't like guns don't want there to be guns, so they see it in there. And they're going to be disingenuous about it because they want you to lose that privilege they think it is. And it's a right. It's a right not granted by the government. It's one you have as a natural person existing outside of government. And they don't give a damn about that.
Agurus, I think they say that. Arduous. Red flag laws are like hate speech laws or hate crime laws. It's all based around reading someone's mind. Here's the problem. And I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you there, but hate crime laws are fucking stupid for a whole different reason. If killing somebody is wrong, why you killed them, or sorry, murdering somebody is wrong. Why you murdered them is irrelevant. The crime is what matters. Whether you did it because they were just some guy on the street who walked by and it was their turn, or whether you did it because you hate white people, the crime is what matters. That you killed them is what matters. The whole hate speech thing is hate speech laws of savage hypocrisy, says Mikalo. Exactly. The South Park episode handled this. So it's amazing that South Park handled it so succinctly and so many people still don't fucking get it. It's the crime that matters, not why you did it. The only time why you did it comes into play is if you're talking about degrees of manslaughter or heat of passion kind of things. When we're talking you murdered somebody and you did it because they're black, that's no different if you murdered him because he was standing there. He's just as dead either way.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
I think there's gonna be a real big push in the next couple of years to get rid of guns, and I don't think that's a winning strategy for anyone involved.
No, it's not. But we're seeing more and more people. Let's go ahead and get rid of guns. Let's get rid of them. Let's get more laws, because that's what's important. If only we had more laws. Wait, why isn't the hashtag itself there? It says Joaquin Castro trending with hashtag impeach Joaquin Castro, but the hashtag itself doesn't come up. That's weird. Let's pull up the hashtag itself. Why don't you have that's the reason? Just put the hashtag there. That's weird. Because like hashtag we love you 3000 doesn't say Avengers trending because of hashtag we love. Huh.
Oh, Gen T has a very important point. If Jonathan Frakes was Marty McFly, would he bonk his mom?
Probably. I'm telling anybody would have except me, because I'm not weird. I'm just saying. Jack. Another day, I should have stayed the fuck off Twitter. I like Twitter when it's fun, when there's, fun arguing back and forth. But the last 2 days have just been so fucking leftist bullshit. Just filled to the fucking rim. And Jack, what movies you like?
I like lots of movies.
What's your favorite movie to put on when you're just like, all right, I'm gonna watch a movie, and you're not going out for any specific reason? You're sitting at home like, I'm gonna want to watch a movie. What's your most likely one to come on, or do you just go randomly looking?
I just go randomly looking. I haven't really been able to watch a lot of movies recently. Been kind of busy.
I feel you.
But yeah, I don't know. It depends on the mood, I guess. For background noise, I usually go for a comedy.
I tend to just like comedies. I stay away from most other kind of movies, which is weird because my favorite is quite a dramatic movie. An Officer and a Gentleman, such a good movie.
Yeah, that is a good movie.
Not a lot of comedy in that movie. I mean, there's like 2 lines that might be funny.
Probably could have used some as a slapstick rom-com. That could have really Man, something for the ages.
That movie's hard to watch. When he pulls his buddy down and he's got the belt around his throat. Oh, heartbreaking. But I prefer comedies, man. I like to laugh. One of my favorite movies to put on when I'm, I have like 3 go-tos. If I'm just like, fuck it, I want to watch a movie, but I don't really want to invest. I'll throw on A Knight's Tale, which is just a ridiculous fucking movie, but I still love it. Groundhog's Day or Scrooged.
Oh yeah, those last 2 I can get behind. Knight's Tale, I didn't like that movie.
Really? Oh, I fucking loved it. The chick in it probably should have had skin on her bones because that was a Skeletor looking bitch. But I love the premise of it and the way they modernized it while still making it kind of old timey. They didn't ruin it by doing that. And Chaucer was just fucking great. If you know anything about Chaucer in real life. How about a joke to lighten the mood? Confucius say, man who farted in church shit in his own pew. Oh, I was supposed to say that with an accent. I get you. Have you ever had sex with a midget? No, I'd like to though. I think it'd be fun.
I did. It was great.
Was it?
Yes.
Did you bottom out easy?
Well, yeah.
I'd imagine.
She was proportionate though. She wasn't like had the full bonk forehead and all that. And we used to go to the movies and she'd get in at the kids' rate.
That's awesome, actually.
Yeah, she was like 7 years older than me too.
Moonshock says, have you ever been swimming in a lightning storm? No. As soon as you see lightning, you get the fuck out of water. It's fine to go swimming during like a rainstorm, but if you see lightning, you get the fuck out. Yeah.
Ever seen Jonathan Frakes dressed as a cat? No, but I would. I would find that very entertaining.
Why are we on Jonathan Frakes?
It's probably the new Shaggy thing. You know how they were doing Shaggy jokes for a long time?
I can get behind Jonathan Frakes more than I can Shaggy, because at least I like Jonathan Frakes.
Yeah, he seems like a nice guy.
He was on an episode of Third Rock from the Sun. Him and his wife. What's her name? She's a famous soap opera actress. She was part of the Luke. She was Laura in Luke and Laura. Was at General Hospital.
I know who you're talking about, but I don't know her name.
Yeah, I can't remember her name. That's his wife, and they played a married couple on Third Rock from the Sun. Who they go out to dinner with Dick and Mary, and of course everybody thinks that because they stop hanging out with him, and the assumption is everybody that they hate Dick because Dick is so Dick. If you've seen the show, you know who he is. But it actually turns out they don't like Mary because she's hoity-toity, always talking about her degree and shit. Oh, it was great. Somebody said Jeannie Frakes. What's her name? But that's not what she goes by. And is Jeannie her name? I can't remember. I can't remember what her name is. But yeah, it was a great episode. He just seems like a nice down-to-earth guy. However, he should never shave the beard.
No, never. He looks like he's 12.
Yeah, that's why I wear a beard. I actually trimmed mine recently, and Lady Monkey goes, "Oh, there's your chubby cheeks." I'm like, "Stop it, leave me alone."
I'm not fat.
You little kid fit. Yeah, I look 12 if I shave completely. Which lazy. Is odd. If I leave the beard on, I look like 90. It was weird the other day, man, because I had let it grow quite longer than I normally do. And I looked in the mirror like, Dad? Because my dad always wore his kind of long, not Duck Dynasty long, but he had a beard where mine's not a 5 o'clock shadow. Mine's like day 2 shadow, maybe. Have you ever broken a deaf girl's hand so she can't report the rape? Shio, that's just wrong.
Wow.
Assassin of the Gray says Next Generation was mostly boring. How dare you, sir?
I could kind of agree with that because There's a lot of episodes that were kind of dumb.
You're not wrong. The first 3 seasons there's a lot of bad stuff in there. A lot of just boring ones, especially that first season, man, where Picard looks so weird. He's got that tunic on that doesn't quite fit right. His head looks like a giant penis. And I don't know if it was actually he was just really skinny, or if they purposefully put shading on his cheeks to make him look hollow, however you say that. But yeah, he looked horrible. I have trouble watching the first season because of him. But once you get into 4, I mean, it's a good show. Stop it. You be nice. Have you ever fingered a badger? No. I don't have a desire to play with animals that way.
For one thing, that badger committed the crime, so when I pointed the finger at him, it was legit.
There you go. His head looks like a giant penis, so he's a dickhead. If you watch it, I mean, there's certain scenes of season 1 of Next Generation where it's just like, that looks like a dick. His head just looks like a dick, man. And the way his hair is, it kind of looked like a circumcised penis. Just throwing that out there.
So he's Jewish.
He's Jewish. There's a lot of people just asking weird questions now.
Oh, have you ever fingered a Harry Potter fan? Yes.
No.
Wife's not a Harry Potter fan?
Not really. I mean, she watched, but she's not like a fan. Frosted Glass says, you ever say I'd fuck me into a mirror? I've said that into this microphone. I'd fuck me. I'm beautiful. I am the. What'd you say?
I'd give it to me.
I am the only man I'd have sex with. I'm a beautiful motherfucker. It's just the way it is. Oh man, we're coming up on the 2 o'clock hour. We got, well, not 2 o'clock hour, 2 o'clock time frame here. So we got like 13 minutes left. I don't want to go over to the hashtag. My hands hurt too much to move them. So we need something to talk about for 13 minutes, Jack.
Are we fans of the X-Men movies? Some of them.
I like that they brought the X-Men to life. I'm with the X-Men. I'm very much like I am with Spider-Man. The first Spider-Man movie, I loved it just because they finally brought him to life. They'd fucked up so much of the story, but it was cool to see Spidey, swinging through the city and stuff.
Yeah.
So I appreciated it for that. And I'm the same way with the first X-Men movie, except for they started with Storm, who didn't come into the X-Men for what? 5 years, 6 years, something like that into the series?
Oh, longer than that, yeah.
Was it longer? Yeah, but they had to bring her in because Storm... Now, I don't think they did it for the African-American thing. I just think Storm's fucking cool. But then they didn't use her.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is they brought in a lot of characters that didn't show up till much, much later, like Wolverine and Colossus and all that. And then they didn't really do a lot with most of them. It was a Wolverine movie.
It was. The whole series was Wolverine. It was so bad. And then the rest of it just was like, I can watch those easier than I can watch a Spider-Man movie, though, because I'm not as big a fan of the X-Men.
Yeah.
But Last Stand was a crime against humanity.
Yeah. Did you see Dark Phoenix?
I have not seen Dark Phoenix yet.
Don't. The same guy that wrote Last Stand wrote Dark Phoenix. And it shows.
Here's the only X-Men I've ever read was the Dark Phoenix saga. So when the only thing I know about the X-Men, other than things I've seen or heard, was that comic. And we go into Last Stand. I'm like, wait a minute, you're missing the Hellfire Club, which plays quite a decent role in the story.
Yeah.
You have characters who I don't remember being there, and you've just completely taken that story, which is such a good story, guys. I don't care if you like comic books or not. I think it's like $18 on Amazon. Go get the Dark Phoenix saga. It is so good. By the end of that movie, by the end of that book, I was attached to those characters, and it was so well written. And then I watched Last Stand. I'm like, what is this shit? What in the absolute shit is this? And I was worried about Dark Phoenix because they haven't done anything with the X-Men franchise to set that up to give us the good path, which to me is what they should have done with the X-Men. Okay, stay with me here, Jack. If they would have taken the X-Men and even jump straight into the future where you have different people who are already introduced and stuff, but jump in with the Dark Phoenix saga and make that like a 3-movie extravaganza where the third one is the payoff. That would have been such an excellent franchise. They wouldn't have had to apologize for the third movie.
Yeah.
And pretend it never happened. Because in their timeline, Last Stand never happened. But instead, they just tried to force everything. They do this a lot in the comic book movies. They'll take a major event like the death of Gwen Stacy, which could have been fucking epic if they ever did it right. Because that is one of the few comics, and when I put it down, I was like heartbroken. Because that whole thing, man, is just like, God damn. And they almost make a joke of it. Like, we have to kill her. Go ahead and kill her. And then in the first Spider-Man movie where they try to pull that shit with Mary Jane, except for she lives, I'm like, are you kidding? Are you actually kidding me right now? No, they do that with comic book movies, and it annoys me. They have so many great stories already fucking written for them. And instead they're like, what if Spider-Man had an aunt who is only 2 years older than him? That would be so awesome.
Well, that's just it. That they see something that's successful and then they immediately want to change it to something that fits their preferences. That's not how that works.
Well,
it's successful for a reason.
They take it so Hollywood. Hollywood has a very specific what's the word I'm looking for here? Formula for movies. I mean, it's very specific. Boy meets girl, boy loves girl, they break up, they get back together at the end. If you have a hero comes out, everybody loves him, something goes wrong, they hate him, he has to save the day. Yay! They take these stories, which are very unconventional, which is what made them so good, and just fucking ruin. They do the same thing with video games, man.
Oh, yeah.
There are some great video games out there that would make such excellent movies. And every time they've tried to do it, they fuck it all up. I tried watching, oh God, what was the one that Jason Statham was in? Fuck. It was a Yule Bowl movie. I forget, but it could have been a great movie. It actually could have been a great franchise. But they did what they always did. They take a story that's really good and they Hollywoodize it because they think that's how you have to make movies. And it sucks. It really sucks.
Yeah. Well, Hollywood's really good at ruining good concepts because they don't like something about it.
Is that it, or is it that they just don't understand why the stories work?
It could be a combination of both. Yeah, Assassin said,
yeah.
Oh, that was your first mistake. So true.
Yeah, how many fucking franchises he ruined?
Too damn many.
He's smart though. Run out, buy the rights, put out a movie, make some money.
The guy's a genius for making money, not for making movies.
Indeed. RGS asked me what's my favorite hentai. Don't watch it. And Brandon says, you are a fuckwit. Well, thank you, Brandon. I told your mom not to tell people her pet name for me. No, the Dark Phoenix one, I'll get it when it comes out, or at least watch it on like Netflix. But I'm expecting it to be disappointing.
It's terrible.
It's yeah. Game industry needs a restraining order against you. You. The game industry needs a protective order against themselves these days. Man, so many stories. There used to be three really huge gaming companies that started with B. They were the big Bs, the BioWare, Blizzard, and Bethesda. And they told such great stories. If you actually go watch the story of Warcraft 3, it is amazing and heartbreaking and just fucking awesome. And if Hollywood ever got a hold of it, they'd do what they did with the Warcraft movie and make it boring as fuck. And I knew that was what they were going to do with the Warcraft movie. I knew they were going to fuck it up. I knew they were. They should have just let Blizzard write the whole damn thing and just film whatever they wrote, because they are excellent storytellers. R.G. Russ. I'm never going to remember it. I appreciate you saying that, but ask around. I'm horrible with names. It's not me being disrespectful, but the Warcraft movie could have been a whole lot worse. You're not wrong. It wasn't the worst movie ever. It's not like the Dungeons and Dragons movie. Jack, you ever see that?
Yes.
Jeremy Irons. Oh my God.
Where the beholder is like, I'm a little puppy dog, even though I have 10 eyes. You threw something over there. Instead of just using one eye to disintegrate that whole area, I'll run over and check it out. It's so dumb.
It was okay, RG. I'm just making sure you're not offended, because I am so bad with names. I do apologize. The special effects in that movie were fucking amazing. It was fucking great. But no, when I say great, I mean bad great. I like movies like that are just so bad they're good, because that was even bad at the time.
Yeah. I don't even know if that was so bad it was good. Like the sequel,
oh no,
Wrath of the Dragon, was so bad it was good. The first one, though, was just like, as soon as I saw Wayans in there, I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
This is going to be silly.
Angry says the Warcraft movie was made not for the fans of the lore. It was made so anyone could watch it. Yes, and that was their problem. This is one of those times that I can't stress this enough, and I need access to producers and directors, because y'all have to hear me. Y'all have to hear me. Please hear me. We don't always need an origin story.
No.
It's possible to jump right in the middle. And if people want to know more, they'll go find it. Or you can make another movie.
Well, I think they really underestimate the intelligence of the viewers. Because one dumb person will write them a letter and be like, I didn't understand this. And they're like, oh, everybody must think that.
One of the biggest franchises of all time. We just talked about this yesterday. I think they're number 5 or 6 on the list. Can't remember. But Star Wars, the original movie, you get no backstory of anyone. You get a little bit of Han being a smuggler, and that he had to dump some cargo. You know that Luke is living with his aunt and uncle, and that his father was killed by Darth Vader. But you don't get, him growing up on Tatooine, and this is his whole backstory. And over here we have to do a backstory for Han. No, that it was just, they threw the characters in there and gave them something to do. And look, it was a huge fucking movie. You don't have to give everybody a fucking backstory. And when Warcraft could have been so good if they spent so much time trying to introduce characters and trying to explain what they're doing and trying to make it so anybody, a general audience, could watch it. They fucked up. They should have made it for the people who want to see that movie.
Yeah, exactly. Like Satsu the Great just brought up G.I. Joe. That movie could have been awesome. Instead, they get the jokey dumbass Wayans brother, not even the cool one.
Mm-hmm. Marlon.
They turned it into a goofy slapstick wacky fest instead of making it a badass covert ops military movie. First of all, everybody loves a good military movie.
Oh yeah.
If you don't, you're a filthy commie, and even the good commies recognize a good military movie when they see it. and it's supposed to be this elite strike force, and they turned it into a joke. That was the biggest slap in the face ever. Plus, they weren't a real American hero at the time.
Right.
They were UN bullshit. And they fixed a lot of that in the second movie, but that movie could have been amazing. And they just shit all over it. I'm like, what are you guys doing? You have this amazing property that everybody in the US knows. A lot of people around the world know G.I. Joe. There's a possibility you could have had a real hit. Instead, it was this tepid, stupid fest.
Polly, how dare you? He said Monkey wants an in-depth, detailed Spider-Man origin story. I want Spider-Man to be Spider-Man. I don't know why we can't have that. That's like in Raimi's movies where they made it so he made his own webs. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you joking right now?
You know what? I can understand why they did that. Because a lot of people don't know that he uses web shooters.
It's okay. You see him put it on and try it out. Look, hey, he's got web shooters.
I would have liked it better with the web shooters, granted. But if that was the alteration that I had to take in order to get a Spider-Man film, that was not the hill I was going to die on.
You know what? And I was okay with it because, like I said, that was the first one where it came out. There were just several parts that like Mary Jane being his first love. I was like, you're killing me right now. Where's Betty?
Yeah. Where's at least Gwen? Give us
at least Gwen. Yeah.
I would have actually been okay with he can shoot natural webs, but there's not as much fluid in there, so he has to create the web shooters as like a backup because he has very limited natural webbing.
Mm-hmm.
At least he didn't shoot webbing out of his butt.
True. Ebony says, I didn't know he made his own web shooters. Well, see, that's another problem I've had with pretty much all of them. Actually, the Garfield movies weren't that bad with this, but like, especially in the new iteration of him, he's not as smart as he should be. Peter's a fucking genius. He didn't need Iron Man to make him a suit for one goddamn thing. God, that line. I'm nothing without this suit. That's as bad as Martha. Why'd you say that name?
Oh, I would say it's worse.
Oh,
because I think they did way more damage to Spider-Man than they did to Batman.
They turned Spider-Man into a little bitch. A little bitch dependent on Tony Stark instead of being a man in his own right. It is amazing though. Have you ever noticed in the Marvel world, Spider-Man is the big name, always was. You had the Fantastic Four, the Avengers and stuff, but Spidey was the big property.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the opposite way in the movies. Spidey's like third string Avenger. I'm like, oh my God, you're killing me. You're killing me.
That's because of the rights thing.
You know what? But you don't have to bring him in as an origin story.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, who's like, oh, that's Spider-Man. Everybody knows Spider-Man. You know what happened when I read a crossover? I didn't have to go read everything about the other character. It's like, oh, a new character showed up. He's in this one. They'll give you a 2-second talkie about how he got there, and that's it. And then you move on with the fucking story. I'm annoyed by this shit. Thanks for not telling RM what I said, but your interpretation of what I said, I didn't pay attention. I'm sorry. What did you say about me? I want to rock and roll all night and party all day. Look, I agree, but I'm too old for that shit. I want to country music all night and sleep all day. I actually sang a country music song to myself when I went to bed earlier. It was about me. I do sing a lot. Anyway, we're at the 2-hour mark, Jack, and my foot has a pain that's going through it, and I'm gonna wrap this up because I don't know. I'm gonna go cut off my foot.
I don't think that's how that works, and then you'll definitely fall down the stairs with your peg foot.
I fall down with the foot, so you're never too old to be a Kiss fan. I have that song and Beth on my iTunes that are in my playlist, so I like Kiss. I'm okay with it. Ice your damn injuries. It's not that foot, sweetheart. It's the other one. This is one of the random pains I get, and it's usually it just stabs and then it's over. But this is like pulsating through the top of my foot. Yeah. Hey, look, shit happens, right? Still have a wonderful family, lots of great friends, and I still love my life, man. It's awesome. Sora says, go rest yourself. I'm not going to. I'm going to actually walk around, try to get this out, and probably play some video games. I don't know if I'll stream it or not. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you for listening to my rant at the beginning of this. And for those of you who are like, I missed it, you're too early. I'm sorry. I had to get that shit out because there's a few times, when I'll see something, it's like, yeah, I got to say something now, or my head might explode. And this was one of those times. So, chat, thanks for hanging out. Thank you so much for the donations. I really do appreciate that. Jack, is there anything you want to show?
No, I'm good.
Let's see. This is technically Wednesday, so we'll be on my channel tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern time. No game stream afterwards, so if you want to see the boys, we'll be there tonight. So come hang out. Chat, thanks for being here. Jack, thank you so much for joining me. Everybody, have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.